The African Wilderness Symphony is perpetually scored with the notes of survival. Here, beneath the incandescent sun and upon the arid earth, the boundary between safety and peril can dissolve in a blink. We stand at the edge of a murky river bend, a point where two formidable, competing worlds coexist: the terrestrial dominance of Panthera leo, the lion, and the absolute aquatic authority of Crocodilus niloticus, the Nile crocodile. The catalyst for this dramatic moment is the most fundamental of needs: life itself. The pride of lions has endured days of unsuccessful hunting on the western bank. Mother Zara, experienced yet nursing young Kito, is compelled to accept the greatest of risks, traversing the water to reach the green valley in the east, where the wildebeest herds have recently migrated. This is a journey of survival to secure essential sustenance. Zara and the other adult lions cross the narrow stretch of the river swiftly. But Kito, the fragile cub, still weak and unaccustomed to the river's pressure, lagged behind, his swimming slowing. This moment of separation created a fatal breach in the natural defense. From beneath the hazy silt, the flat, powerful head of a Nile crocodile surfaced. Its serrated jaws, the epitome of primordial ferocity, lunged forward. In a desperate surge of effort, Kito avoided the killing blow, but a terrifying canine tooth tore through the skin and muscle of his hind leg. The cub instantly lost his strength, helplessly surrendering to the relentless current. On the bank, Kito's situation transcended the harsh domain of natural law. His life now depended on an external variable, Elara. The biologist witnessed the tragedy. She knew that intervention was taboo, but given Kito's deep wound and utter exhaustion, rescue had become an undeniable moral imperative. Intervening in the natural law of survival is always a momentous decision, but for Elara, the sight of Kito struggling with his injury dissolved all hesitation. Her rescue was not the result of chance, but of vigilance and modern monitoring tools. Elara was tracking acoustic frequencies placed near the river, part of a research project on lion calls. It was Kito's unusually pained and terrified roar, combined with the fierce thrashing in the water, that immediately alerted her via her remote device. Action had to be lightning fast. Elara rushed her small patrol speedboat, hurtling straight into the danger zone. She carried no weapon. Her only tools were surprise and a long aluminum pole. As the speedboat idled, Elara leaned over, repeatedly plunging the tip of the pole hard into the water right beside the area where the crocodile was lurking. The pole created loud, violent splashes and unusual waves. The colossal reptile, accustomed to silence and the advantage of being hidden underwater, instantly recognized the presence of an undetermined threat. It hesitated, temporarily diving to assess the situation. In that precious moment, Elara redirected the pole, using it like a hook, extending it fully to push Kito toward the shallow water near the bank, where Thomas was waiting. The cub was completely spent, his body trembling. The deep wound in his hind leg caused profound tissue damage, leading to loss of motor control and placing the cub into shock. The sigh of relief lasted only an instant. Just as Kito was secured in the emergency transport cage on the jeep, Zara, the mother lion, appeared. In her eyes, Elara's rescue was a cruel act of theft. Her maternal instinct was activated at its highest level. Zara let out a roar of anguish and fury. Thomas's jeep had to speed away into a cloud of dust. Behind them, Zara pursued. The sight was a powerful testament to the intensity of motherhood, a resilient lioness, regardless of fatigue and danger, chasing the vehicle at terrifying speed. The pursuit continued until the jeep drove through the gates of the sanctuary outpost, the conservation center. The heavy metal gate crashed shut. Zara stopped before the fence, her eyes filled with despair, never leaving the cage where Kito lay. Elara and Thomas knew that for Kito to recover from his deep wound and avoid the risk of infection, he needed medical care. But for him to recover spiritually, he needed his mother. A quick decision was made. They had to bring Zara in as well, a bold move and a profound acknowledgement of the unbreakable bond between mother and cub in the wild. Bringing Zara into the sanctuary outpost, a place she inherently viewed as enemy territory, was not a triumph, but a gamble staked on empathy. The mother lion was housed in a fenced outdoor enclosure adjacent to Kito's special treatment area. This was a fragile psychological corridor. Zara could see her cub, smell him, but not touch him. Her presence, even through a layer of wire mesh, served as the best analgesic for both Kito and his caregivers. During the first days, Kito endured the process of cleaning and stitching the deep wound on his thigh. Every time Kito whimpered, Zara outside would unleash a warning roar. She refused all food offered by humans. Her gaze was consistently cold and hostile. It was an extraordinary act of maternal endurance, accepting temporary confinement solely to oversee the safety of her child. Elara understood that trust could not be forced. She initiated a subtle strategy built on patience and respect. Every day, she spent time sitting by the fence, speaking to Zara in a soft, steady tone. She described every action she took for Kito, changing the bandage, administering medication, feeding him. "Zara," she whispered, "I understand your pain, but I am helping Kito grow strong
okay,
again.
little one.
I am not your
It
enemy."
won't hurt you, Zara.
Gradually, Elara's patience began to bear fruit. Zara no longer growled every time Elara approached. She began to pay attention to Elara's voice, recognizing the
rest your head.
stability and
We are
sincerity
right
within
here
it.
with you.
The clearest change occurred when Kito began to eat again. Watching her son accept food from Elara's hand, Zara's defense began to crumble. Survival instinct and animal logic finally overcame suspicion. An enemy would never care for her cub with such diligence. The defining moment came at the end of the second week. When Elara extended her hand toward Zara through the fence, the mother lion did not retreat for the first time. She slowly advanced, sniffing Elara's hand, a subtle gesture of communication, not of domestication, but of temporary acceptance. Elara knew she had crossed the first line. She had been acknowledged by Zara as a non-threatening presence. After Kito had fully recovered from his injuries and both mother and cub had regained their strength, Zara and Kito were reunited in a larger area, preparing for their release back into the wild. The sight of the two embracing, Kito rubbing his head against his mother, was a beautiful testament to the success of this strategy. An invisible thread had been established, a bond built on necessity, compassion, and respect for the maternal instinct. The relationship between Elara and the lion pair had evolved from a rescue intervention into a silent covenant of trust. Kito's recovery, witnessed by Elara's patience and Zara's presence, was a victory not just of veterinary medicine, but of deep understanding. Kito was now a robust young lion, the scar on his hind leg a badge of survival. The time for their release into the northern savannah ridge had arrived. This is always a moment accompanied by a mixture of joy and heartache for conservationists. Joy because they are returned to where they belong, and heartache for a special connection that must be relinquished. The release process was carried out with caution. Elara observed from a distance, from a high point on the sanctuary's edge. When the crate opened, Zara led Kito and immediately ran into the vast golden grasslands. Kito, with his fully restored agility, melted back into the wilderness landscape. This is the essence of conservation, not to possess, but to restore freedom and self-reliance. The link with Elara now had to become a silent covenant, a memory that existed only between the two individuals. Time passed quickly. Kito grew exponentially, becoming a magnificent young male lion, roaring with his pride. The crocodile scar remained, an unmistakable mark. Elara continued to monitor their pride via tracking devices, maintaining a respectful distance from the wildlife she had fought to protect. However, as is the nature of the harsh wilderness, new challenges always arise. On a dry, windy night, disaster struck. A lightning strike ignited a major wildfire in the northern savannah. The flames spread rapidly, turning the vast grassland into a suffocating, red-hot sea. Alarms blared throughout the sanctuary. Elara and Thomas immediately rushed into the fight. But Thomas quickly grasped the desperate situation. The fire is advancing toward the northern swamp. Kito's pride is downwind. They'll be trapped. We can't reach them by jeep. The only road is blocked by the flames. Thomas was desperately worried, as the fire had created a death trap. Elara looked at the map. She knew of an old, nearly forgotten game trail nestled between two narrow rock faces. The path was extremely risky, but it was the only hope of reaching the lion's location. Furthermore, she knew that to move a panicked lion pride through a dangerous area, they needed more than a guide. they needed a bridge of trust. A decision had to be made instantly. Elara prepared her all-terrain motorcycle and gear. Thomas looked at her, his expression a mix of worry and admiration. "Are you sure, Elara? Kito is a fully wild, fierce lion now. He won't remember you in this state of panic." Elara looked straight into Thomas's eyes, her resolve unshaken. "I know Kito. He trusted me once. And tonight, I have to bet everything on that silent covenant. I won't abandon them." She sped off, slicing through the smoke-filled night, going to find the lives she had saved from the murky river so long ago. Elara raced through the night, the all-terrain motorcycle roaring against the wind and the crackling of the fire. The thick smoke, tinted orange by the blaze, reduced visibility to almost zero. This was a moment of extreme peril, but in her mind, the image of Kito and Zara, the creatures who had trusted her, supplanted all fear. Finally, navigating the treacherous game trail, she reached the area where the lion pride was frantic. They were surrounded by smoke and confusion. Right there, amidst the chaos, Elara saw Kito. The lion, now a magnificent predator, bearing the indelible crocodile scar, was desperately trying to keep the pride from scattering. Elara killed the engine. In the sudden silence amidst the fire's noise, she called Kito's name in the familiar cadence. The lions hesitated, but Kito, guided by a deep instinct, recognized that sound, recognizing the one who had saved him from the deadly river. He approached Elara, sniffed, and then gave a soft roar, not of threat, but of acknowledgement. That was the crucial moment. Kito turned, looked at the pride, then looked at Elara, as if signaling them to follow. Elara led the way, the motorcycle moving slowly through the scorched brush. The trust had been repaid. The pride, led by Kito and Zara, followed the woman who instinct should have labeled an enemy. They reached the riverbank, a wide channel separating them from safety. The fire had consumed every other path. The water was the only escape. For Kito, the river was still a memory of horror. The pride hesitated, recoiling from the water's edge. Elara knew she had to act. She dismounted her bike, took off her boots, and waded into the river. She did not look back, only walking a short distance forward, demonstrating that the water was safe. The act was symbolic. She placed her life in their trust. Kito looked at Elara, then at the water. His trust in Elara was greater than his fear. The lion took a deep breath and slowly stepped in, leading the entire pride across the water to the safe zone. This was not merely a journey of survival. It was a journey affirming courage and the integrity of the silent covenant. As the first rays of dawn pierced the smoke, illuminating the creatures who had survived the disaster, Elara stood on the bank, watching Kito and the pride move deeper into the green savannah. Kito paused, turning to look back at her one last time. That gaze was no longer filled with fear or panic, but with a profound gratitude that transcended the boundaries of species. Elara returned, carrying not a lion, but a monumental lesson about the interconnectivity of life. The bond between her and Kito, forged by her patience and Zara's sacrifice, proved that compassion is not a weakness, but humanity's greatest strength. We have a responsibility not only to study or protect from a distance, but to be ready to intervene with empathy. Kito's freedom and survival are proof that humanity's greatest value lies in the capacity to help, not in the ability to dominate. The story of this river is a reminder that we are all gatekeepers, responsible for every creature that shares this common home with us.